All right, guys. Well, for once, after weeks and weeks and weeks of other filler content and not even 1 week I think I didn't upload, and we're back in the barn. And contrary to what's behind you, no, we're not working on Volvos today. We're working on the 3500 HD. Let me turn around and show you what we got. So I think I mentioned in a previous video, and bear with me because I completely have lost track of where we were at with this project, but I ordered a whole bunch of body mount parts so that I could finalize the body mounts on this truck. I got some factory GM bolts, I got a couple of retainers from the GM dealer, I got a full polyurethane energy suspension kit, and a couple of these Dorman kits that gives me these upper washers, which actually look like that. There's some of the old ones. Because I expected the energy suspension kit to have everything like the Dorman kits do, and they don't. So, yeah. So I've got two of these big retainer washers with the new Dorman parts, and I've got three more that are okay here. I got a couple of old retainer washers. I got a couple of new ones. I got a couple of ones that came with the Dorman kit. As you can see, I don't have enough. I've got a total of 6 mounts on the cab plus the 2 on the core support. So I need 8 of these total. I don't have that. So, needless to say, I just ordered 4 more of these Dorman kits, which will give me everything I need. And I'll still use the polyurethane bushings in all of it. So needless to say, we don't have what we need, but that's okay because we're not trying to bolt the cab down right now anyway. What I do need is some of these to measure distances so that I can get the cab set. Now, some of you who are eagle eyes are going to look at this and say, hey, wait, Rob, pause, and the energy kit will follow through with this. You can see, if you look, I don't know if the video shows, but these two back here are taller. They're a taller mount because the standard extended cab rear mounts are in fact taller. I don't know why, probably based on where they could put the mounts on the frame. But regardless, yes, they are. Yes, when I use these retainers, they're not going to go tall enough. I could theoretically weld some tube and make that work. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But regardless, yes, I am aware that the other 6 are the same, and then those 2 are different. And then actually the Dorman kit shows that the core support ones are different too because they use a nut versus the captive nut type setup that's on the cabs. So yes, I am aware of all those subtle differences. We're going to make it work. Okay, so over here on the truck, the problem we've got is that these front mounts are close. Camera doesn't show, but they're close. These mid mounts are kind of close. I don't know if you can see that. Kind of close. Obviously the rears have to be welded on still, so it don't matter. But the problem we've got is that we still have contact. We've got to go down still, and we still got contact happening there. And we still got contact happening there. So we're gonna use this and we're gonna solve our problems. All right. So you can see this is sitting now on body mounts. Now they're not cinched down, so we could actually lose another 1/4 to a 1/2 inch once everything gets pulled in. But you know, here we go. Here we go. Other side looks the same. So clearly we're gonna have some throttle pedal clearance issues, but you know, this is the nature. This is what happens on projects like this, where we're trying to put a big ass transmission and bell housing. And again, for those of you just watching, I apologize, I'm out of breath a little bit from listening to this cab up and back and forth. But when I did this the first time, I made the drivetrain fit to the cab, and I created driveline angle issues. Just had no clearance. I mean, now you can look underneath and you can see the transmission is, if not even, then slightly higher than the bump down in the frame. Before, I only had about 6-8 inches of clearance off the ground, and obviously that created driveline angle issues, and we don't want that. So we've got the opportunity here to build this cab around, well, not this cab, but to build a cab, the one that's in the barn, around the driveline, and that's what we're gonna do. So with that being said, it's time to make this work. Yeah, so there's where the cab mount's supposed to be. And what I'm really excited about is, now that that's sitting on the mounts, is we do in fact clear this frame. We don't need to do, there is no reason to even consider doing any kind of frame extension or anything like that. So we're in good shape there. But plenty of clearance back here on the back side of the cab. But we do need to get these extra mounts in. So I've got to decide if I want to use these, or if I just want to make my own. And to be honest with you, I've already decided to make my own. I need to see what I've got for flat stock, but we can triangulate some brackets, and we already know that the hole we need bored is exactly that diameter right there. So that's easy. I don't know if I have that size hole saw. Looks like I'm pretty darn close, because that's probably too big for any of my annular cutters on the old mag drill. But I don't know, we might be right there. Oh my goodness, it's perfect. I think it's pretty perfect. Heck yeah, spot on. So if we don't have an annular cutter, we've got that. And let me see what we got for flat stock. All right, so this is some looks like 1/4 bar by 4 inch, and it looks like I've got a whole nother stick of that 1/4 by 4. That one's about 4.5 feet. That one's maybe 3 or a little under. So we can easily, that's going to be awesome. We can make a plate, flat plate where we need it, and then some angle gussets coming back. We can tie everything together. That's more than enough for a body mount. Hell, that's significantly thicker than the whole frame was on the 1/2 ton. So all right, that's what we're gonna do. Awesome, I love it. Progress. All right, guys, well, it doesn't get much easier. I've taken some measurements, and we've got a flat frame. Exactly 8 3/4 inches over is the center of the rear cab mount. And we can float this thing wherever we want for height. It goes right between a couple bolts, so we don't have to worry about clearing anything, I think. So I'm literally going to run this straight off, and we'll just do a bar on top to tie 2 tie plates together, and we'll tack it up and set it up in place on the frame, make sure everything works, and then we can clean off the frame, weld it in, get everything painted up, and well, first then we'll drill the holes once we get everything welded on. I'm not going to pre-drill holes and then hope that it lines up. We'll weld it in place, roughly located,
and then we will drill the holes after the fact, because that just makes more sense to me. So I'll bring it back once I get this material cut with the old Milwaukee circular saw, and we'll tack it up, get the welder out, and see how these fit. All right, well, I definitely forgot to push record while I was welding that, but that's what it's going to look like. Let's go take it over to the truck and see how it fits. Okay, well, I know you can't see very well, and it's starting to sprinkle here, but yeah, that's what it'll be. You can see there's the mount on this cab, a little worse for wear, but yeah, we're nice and centered on it, and you can see we can float up and down wherever we want on this section frame rail. So all we've got to do is measure the height of our mount assembly, because right now, you know, all these are just sitting loose, not tightened. So we'll do the same thing with our rear mounts, and yeah, then we can mark where we got to grind off, full weld that in, and that's going to be plenty of strength for just these rears. So that's fun. I'm gonna go full weld this now. Okay, so I got the first one located and everything's ground on the frame on the truck. And, you know, just it's going to be a pain in the butt to move this cab and all that. There's no reason not to pre-drill these holes. Yeah, we're going to do it because it's just too hard to do on the truck. So let's make a hole. All right, there we go. Nice looking hole. We'll clean it up with the grinder, and now we're ready to weld. All right. Well, guys, there are some cab mounts all finished up. I've already cleaned everything up with wax and grease remover, and we are ready for some etch primer and good old satin black paint. You can see though, climb over the frame here. I think they turned out pretty good. Pretty snazzy. Fully welded. That'll do. And hey, we're cooking with gas now. So I'm gonna change some titers now. And so my order of business is I gotta get this. I'm waiting on a few parts still, but tomorrow I'm gonna get the heat fired up in here, and we're gonna start tackling this, resealing the top end of this V8 and this Volvo. Just want to get that thing out of here, because with what I just did complete, it is officially time to rework the tunnel in this truck, and we'll get the doors off so we can do that, and get that tunnel work done and everything sealed up on that and primed. And then, guys, it is time to do a little bit of body work and sanding on this thing and paint it. I think if all goes well, I might have this done by, I got a couple weeks off coming for Christmas, and I might have this in paint by, which means I got to get myself one more fender. I need a driver's fender still. But, and get the flares all situated. But regardless, we'll get that part done, and yeah, I think we might have it in paint by somewhere around first of the year, which is awesome, because then I can get a windshield put on it, and I can get it set on the frame, bolted down, and we can start putting a truck together. That's a big hurdle, and I'd love to get that thing out of this barn. I've had it in here for like 8 months now or something. 7-8 months it's been, and it's time to go. Get it out of here. And the Volvo will be put back together and on the road, and I can have my barn for other activities in the winter. All right, we'll get to painting. Well, guys, that kicked my butt. I don't know if you can tell from that time lapse, but I got three 19.5s dismounted, one a fourth half dismounted, and one remounted, my steer remounted. So I've got a matching set of Dayton, I think they're D520S's, both about 50-60% tread on them, maybe a little more. Those match up front now. Got some Dayton, I can't remember the number, Dayton drives. I really like them. They're old, 10 years old, 9 years old. But so they're about DOT'd out, but they match. They got good tread on them. They're really good traction tire. I wish they still made them. I don't believe they do. But anyway, I don't know if you saw, but I threw those in the bed of the friggin' truck. I'm done. I'm done with 19.5s. I can do 22.5s, but those 19.5s, especially on old rusty rims, are a pain in the butt. Those 2 old rusty rims are getting scrapped. But anyway, they're in the bed of the truck. We'll take those 2 in the tire shop on Monday. Get them swapped. They're not going on the truck anytime soon anyway. They're just my extra drives. So they're just gonna go across the street and sit. So we'll get those done. So tires are set, ready for whenever the truck's ready to be on the road. But yeah, so that'll be the end of this video. As you saw, we got some cab mounts fabricated. Everything's good, everything's painted, it's ready to go. That means this cab that's sitting over here is it's gonna come out soon. We gotta get this Volvo done, like I say, the one behind me, my daughter's car, slash my extra car for the next few months until she has her license. And we'll get that out of here. And the next video you see on this project will be the cab, fabricating the new tunnel, and then start body work. I want to get that thing kicked out. I want to get it mounted on the truck and get this project moving, because my goal is that by sometime spring, probably late spring, I want it sold, or at least up for sale. So we got to keep moving towards that goal. In the meantime, I really appreciate y'all watching. Hope you enjoyed the video on the C3500HD Cummins swap, ramp truck, air ride, you name it, truck project. Hope y'all have a great week. Take care.